Sorry to Bother You is written and directed by Boots Riley, and it is about this guy, Cassius Green. He needs some money, so he goes into the world of telemarketing, and the movie is the story of his career as a telemarketer and his way up in the world. And that's really all I'm gonna give about this movie without going into too many spoilers. And if you think the movie sounds boring or dull because of that, trust me, it is not. Now, going into Sorry to Bother You, I knew that it was going to be a weird movie, but coming out of this movie, knowing what I saw, I have no idea how I could ever have prepared myself from what I was about to see, because this is such an insane movie. Wholly original, but I cannot believe what I just saw on the screen. This is a movie that is very hard to digest. Boots Riley throws so much at the screen with just his ideas and originality that it's hard to process. Because the thing about this movie is that it is a deep movie in which that almost everything that we see on screen is some sort of commentary in one way or form, whether it's dealing with capitalism, slavery, labor, just the way that us Americans view entertainment. Everything that you can think of is put in this movie in some way or form. Sometimes it is easier than others, and sometimes after the movie I just had to sit down and think about certain elements and what they all mean. Granted, I don't think every single one of them needed to be in the movie or if they even worked, but there's a lot in this movie, and I really have to applaud Boots Riley for actually going through, writing all this down, and just making all of this nonsense work, because most of it does. Now, one of the random nonsense things in this movie, I'm not going to go into spoilers, but Danny Glover's at a bar in one scene, and we see him order some whiskey, and the bartender's about to pick up one drink, and he's like, no, that one, and it's the same bottle, but the bartender opens up the bottle, it's like a glass door, and there's a smaller bottle of whiskey in it, and she pours him the drink. I don't understand what that's all about, but it's in the movie. It doesn't make any sense. It has no importance for the plot of the movie, but it works. There's so much weirdness and nonsense in this movie, and for some reason, it still works, and I really have to applaud Boots Riley for everything that he does in the movie. And I feel like with everything that Boots Riley is throwing at the screen, almost all of it works. There's some things that I just felt were a little bit unnecessary or just didn't really make sense, especially one thing at the end, which for me kind of contradicted the whole ending of the movie, and I wasn't a big fan of that. And all the commentary aside, this movie itself is still very good. All the acting all around is amazing. The main guy who plays Cassius Green, I can't remember his name, he does a fantastic job. His girlfriend, played by Tessa Thompson, also does really well. All the supporting characters are so good, but the thing about this movie that really makes it work is its script. Boots Riley, this is a 100% original film. If you told me to compare this movie to something else, I just couldn't. I cannot compare this movie to anything else. The only thing I can really think of as a somewhat good comparison is Get Out. Granted, the two of them have nothing really in common except that they are both somewhat sci-fi movies that have social commentary. But the thing that I feel like that Get Out does better is that when you watch the movie and this big revelation happens, when you rewatch the movie, you see the movie in a whole different light and everything makes so much sense. But with Sorry to Bother You, what we see going on in this movie with the big revelation near the end of the movie, I feel like when you rewatch the movie, it doesn't really change the movie as a whole. You just know where the movie's heading, and it doesn't really change what we're seeing for that first hour and 15 minutes before this whole revelation happens. And since I've only seen Sorry to Bother You once, I can't say how I would feel on repeated viewing, but I feel like it just won't be as much of a surprise as it is from the first time I've seen this movie, because this is a really surprising movie. As I said once again, it is because of Boots Riley, his script and direction. I absolutely love it. Everything that he has in this movie is just genius. It's a very funny movie. Granted, I don't think it's as funny as sometimes it thinks it is, but I still really enjoyed a lot of the humor. One thing I will say, that Sorry to Bother You is definitely not a movie for everyone. It is not your generic Hollywood movie that you can just sit down and enjoy. Some people may find it just to be an easy watch. I don't think it's that easy, because there's so much to pick apart and enjoy and absorb throughout this entire movie. This entire movie is just one big metaphor, and for the most part, I really enjoyed it. Sorry to Bother You is very well acted. It is amazingly written and directed thanks to Boots Riley with his humongous originality, and with this movie being just a big piece of commentary on our social life as a whole, I feel like a majority of it is done very well. There are some parts I felt like may have been unnecessary or just not needed. This is not a very easy movie to digest, and I feel like if you do, there's so much to admire and love about this movie. So I can say that Sorry to Bother You is a great movie. So that's Sorry to Bother You. What do you guys think? Have you seen the movie? Have you not seen the movie? Whatever you think, you put the comments below and maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. Thank you as always for watching. If you haven't, you click my last video right over here, and you can click my upcoming video right over here. Thank you as always for watching, and hope to see you next time.